Hey, welcome back, everyone. Before we get going, I mentioned this in the last episode. Considering a new format idea starting with episode 100. Basically, the episodes are going to be driven by your questions. Wherever you're at in your career, you send a question that's on your mind about transition, and that will drive the episode. Send me some feedback on this. Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Let me know. And if you like it, start sending me some questions now. All right, let's get going with this one. When you're in uniform, there's rarely a question about what you're doing or why you're there. The mission is clear every day. You know where you stand, you know your role, and you know the people around you are depending on you. That kind of clarity can feel like a weight, but it's also a gift. It shapes your decisions. It gives you identity. It gives you clarity about what matters in the moment. However, when the uniform comes off, suddenly that playbook goes away. No daily orders, no roll call, no dispatch telling you what's next. You're left staring at a wide open page. And for a lot of us, that silence can feel crazier than the chaos we're used to. We get stuck waiting for the big answer to drop in our lap. We keep searching for that grand purpose because that'll make the uncertainty disappear. But purpose doesn't arrive like an Amazon package at your doorstep. You don't stumble across it one day and suddenly everything makes sense. It doesn't work that way. What does work is being deliberate, living with intention, choosing to move forward, even when the map isn't clear. It's the small, purposeful choices that begin to steer the ship. And before you know it, you're no longer drifting. You're charting a clear course. That's what it's about this time. Not chasing some perfect definition of purpose. It's about being purposeful. So with that, let's get into round 90 of the tactical transition tips. This time the topic is purposeful, not purpose. For the close range group, those of you looking at your transition right away or you're less than a year out, choose progress over perfection. Progress restores your sense of control and momentum when everything else feels uncertain. For the medium range group, those of you looking at your transition in 5 years or so, reverse engineer your future self. Because the best way to excel and lead today is to know who you are and who you're becoming tomorrow. And for the long range group, those of you just starting your careers, you've got at least a decade before you transition. Design your life philosophy, not just your career. Invest in who you are as much as what you do. Your exit from uniform won't be a change. It'll simply be a pivot. Close range group. You're staring down transition. And that clock, it's not just ticking in the background. It's pounding in your ears. The date is coming when you're going to take that uniform off for the last time. And with every day that passes, that pressure grows. I know how it feels. Every decision seems like it's carrying the weight of your entire future. Every job listing looks like it could be the one. Every interview feels like your last shot. And the advice flying at you from every direction, it can be overwhelming because now one wrong decision feels like it's going to derail everything. So, take a breath. Try to calm down. Remember this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Transition isn't about perfection. It's not about nailing the perfect job right out of the gate. It's not about writing a resume that belongs in the Smithsonian. It's not about crushing every interview with extreme precision. Transition is about movement and momentum. It's about taking the next step and then the one after that. Try to think progress, not perfection. Now, granted, right now, progress can feel slippery. And when you're less than a year away, slippery isn't what you need. What you need is traction. The first battle space is your morning. In our careers, the calls come in, the operations step off, and you move. That instinct serves you. But in transition, that same instinct can wreck your day. For you, flip it around. Give yourself 10 minutes before you do anything for anybody else. Get in the habit of journaling. Write down 3 things each morning. First, one action that pushes you closer to your next life. Sending an email, fixing or updating one aspect of your resume, preparing for that job interview. One action that protects your head. Go for a walk, go to the gym, sit in silence with a cup of coffee. And one action that invests in your people. Call a mentor, call a connection, talk with your family. These 3 things, they're your daily anchors. And if you can give yourself 10 minutes of intention before you get pulled in every other direction, you reclaim control. Now, let's talk about noise, because the world out there is loud. The networking groups, what you read on social media, everybody's opinion about your transition. It's everywhere. And it can look like lifelines. But more information doesn't always mean more clarity. It usually can mean more stress, and it can feed your anxiety. So curate your feed the way you curate your gear. Only the essentials make the cut. Build a 1-page stress filter. Write down your top 3 career interests, the salary range you're aiming for, and the locations you'd actually consider. Every time a posting pops up, run it against that filter. If it doesn't fit, delete it, ignore it, move on. Because progress isn't about chasing every option. It's about focusing on the right ones. This October 28th and 29th, the Military Officers Association of America is bringing together 3,000 voices, military leaders, warfighters, veterans, and families at National Harbor in Maryland for their inaugural conference, Total Force Plus. This isn't just another military conference. It's a mission to advance solutions for our military and veteran community, including leadership development, quality of life, military transition, and maximizing the veteran's experience. It's all on the table. This is where the next generation of military solutions will be tackled, at the first and only military conference where people outrank everything. And because the mission is so important, MOA is making attendance free for those who are currently serving, the spouses of those currently serving, and all federal employees within the DoD and VA. Secure your seat now, as tickets are limited and offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Visit TotalForcePlus.org to see if you qualify for your free ticket and to register for the conference. Now, here's the hard part. Transition is full of hits. You're going to get rejection. You're going to have interviews that don't land. And every single one of them is going to sting because it feels personal. Like it's not just a resume that they're passing on, it's you. That's when you need tactical detachment. Step back, pull yourself out of the emotion, and look at the situation from the outside. Ask yourself, if I were giving advice to someone in my exact spot, what would I tell them? That shift in perspective is everything. It's like pulling the camera back. Suddenly, rejection isn't a knockout, it's just one punch in the fight. And from that distance, you can respond with clarity, not frustration. And it's easier to stay in the game that way. Now, like the inevitable rejection, one of the biggest drivers of stress is the unknown, the what ifs. What if I don't land work right away? What if there's a gap in my pay and my income? What if I don't know who I am, without the uniform. Here's how you beat that. Write the fears down. Put the worst cases on paper, and then write the plan for each one. Develop contingencies that work for you, that'll work for your family. And once you define the counterattack, the fear loses its power. Then, if one of the fears hits, you're ready to go. You're not stuck at the threshold trying to think of a solution. Now, this next part might feel awkward, but it's powerful. Transition isn't just about a new paycheck. It's about stepping into a new identity. And that's one of the hardest shifts for us. So you've got to rehearse who you're going to become. Try responding to emails as if you are that person. Start speaking the language of that profession. You want to take it further? Dress the part as often as you can. Not because clothes make the person, but because they train your mind. Put on what you'd wear in that role and notice how it changes how you think. The more you rehearse, the less foreign it feels. And the less foreign it feels, the less intimidating it becomes. Every one of these steps, resetting your morning, filtering your information, stepping back when the hits land, mapping out the worst cases, rehearsing your next identity, they all drive home one principle. Momentum beats mastery. Perfection freezes you. You can wait for the perfect opportunity, the ideal timing, and while you wait, the clock keeps ticking. Anxiety keeps climbing, and nothing moves. But progress compounds. One small win leads to another. One step forward builds confidence for the next step. No, one thing must be perfect, but each one is progress, and progress builds power. So then what stops people? Fear. Fear of mistakes. Fear of looking unprepared. Fear of stepping into a world where you were and your past accomplishments don't carry the same weight. And under that fear is pride. The pride that says, I shouldn't have to take small steps. I've already proven myself in uniform. But small steps are strength. And every deliberate step forward is proof that you're not stuck. You're moving. Progress creates power. Every single day, you've got a chance to build momentum. Control your mornings. Filter the noise. Step back when the hits come. Map out your worst cases. Rehearse who you're becoming. Do those things, and transition stops looking like a mountain you'll never climb, but it becomes steps on a staircase. And step by step, you rise. You don't need perfection. You need progress. That'll boost your confidence, sharpen your focus, and set you up for the life waiting on the other side of the uniform. Medium range group. You're not walking out the door tomorrow. You got 5 years, give or take, before your transition. And in some ways, that might feel like you're being given a present. You've got some time. You're not waking up with the clock pounding in your ears. But this time you have is tricky. You have to avoid the mindset of, I'll worry about transition later. Tomorrow can get here faster than you think. And suddenly that someday isn't down the road. It's staring you in the face. Think of it like a mission brief. Paint a clear picture of what success looks like. Then build your plan backwards. Picture who and what you want to be on the other side of the uniform. What does your day look like? Are you simply retired or are you working? What kind of work fires you up? What are the demands of your family? Will your kids be still in school? Once you can see that picture, you can then start asking better questions. What needs to be in place for me to get there? Does the career I want require any specific certifications or maybe a degree? Do you have them? Are you thinking you'll get them if you get the job? Will you get the job without them? Do you have a network in place? A network of people working in the career you want to get to. Now, once you've got that picture and you've mapped out what you need structure to keep yourself on track. This is where, call them quarterly performance debriefs come in. You already know why. Reflections sharpen readiness. Every quarter, take an afternoon. No distractions. Ask yourself 4 questions. Where did I grow in the last 3 months? Where did I stall or stay comfortable? What assumptions do I have that might not be true anymore? Am I still on course for my future self? Take notes on yourself. Write everything down. Don't just think about it. Because once it's on paper, you'll start seeing patterns. That's how you build the bridge to your future self. And the payoff is immediate. You don't just prepare for tomorrow. You lead and operate better today. Something else you need to focus on is your reputation. It's one of the most valuable currencies you can ever build, and it compounds over time. Fast forward 5 years. Do you want to be the person who was looked at as just doing the job? Or the person who people say, man, that was the go-to person? It's your call. You need to be visible. You need to be genuine. Think about it. If you were a newbie, would you want you training and leading you? Reputations aren't built overnight. You've got some time to improve yours or make it even better than it already is. Remember, leaders who invest in others, who think ahead, who contribute beyond themselves, they're the ones that are trusted with more responsibility and they have more influence. Though your transition is down the road, your reputation pays dividends today. So think about who's going to replace you. Don't hoard the keys until the last day. Leave the place better than when you took over, and share the lessons you've learned along the way. Not only does it build your legacy, it builds your resume. Civilian employers want people who develop those around them, not just someone who does tasks. They want someone who can walk into an organization and leave behind stronger teams. Hey, real quick, let's talk surfing and bourbon. The Pendleton Surf Club's all-military surf contest is happening October 9th through the 12th at Church Surf Break on Camp Pendleton. Whether you ride a longboard or a shortboard, if you're active duty, a veteran, or a military spouse, this is your chance to paddle out, compete, and connect. It's 4 days of nonstop action, pro-level judging, raffles, giveaways, and shared stoke with your crew on the sand. Your registration includes meals, contest swag, and the chance to take home the trophy. Spots are limited, and registration closes October 1st, so secure your place now at pendletonsurfclub.com. And for those whose ears perked up when I said bourbon, Pendleton Surf Club has released Board Shack Bourbon, crafted to celebrate the stories, the service, and the surf. Every penny from every bottle sold funds the event and supports the surfers. So even if you don't surf, you can support the event and enjoy some good bourbon. Grab your board, get your bottle, and help give back to military members and veterans. Go check out pendletonsurfclub.com. Next, let's talk about stress-proofing your career. Do it with contingency scenario planning. You already do it for operations. You can do it for your career. Ask yourself, what if I had to leave in 2 years instead of 5? What if I had to walk away next year? Where are the gaps I'd be staring at? Run the drills. Develop the plan. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being ready. Something else you can do? Reverse mentoring. Most of us look up for guidance. We find senior leaders, the ones who've been around and done it. But you should be looking down and sideways. The younger ones can teach you all about the newest tech stuff. They actually have a more positive and different take on mental health. Ditch the I know everything. Ditch the I know everything attitude. Ask questions. Stay curious. Learn. The civilian world is different. Don't be the dinosaur who's out of touch. You need to stay relevant. Also, you're likely not going to be working with people your age in your next career. You'll need to be able to relate and bridge those generation gaps. That's what keeps you sharp. That's what makes you stand out. Another big barrier is hesitation. You might be thinking you could seem like, or you don't want to seem like you're quitting. You don't want your peers or supervisors thinking that you've already got one foot out the door. But preparing now isn't disloyal. It's responsible. It's showing forward thinking. Your preparation doesn't just benefit your future. It makes you better right now. You become seen as someone who handles today's responsibilities while keeping an eye on tomorrow. So, to wrap this section up, you've got the advantage of time, but only if you use it. Reverse engineer the person you want to become and start building towards that version now. Run quarterly debriefs. Build or bolster your reputation. Groom your replacements. Scenario plan so you're not caught off guard. And learn from the next generation so you stay sharp. Do those things, and you're not just preparing for life after the uniform. You're leading with more clarity, more influence, and more impact. That's what separates the people who stumble into their next chapter from the ones who step into it with purpose. Long range group. You're the newbie. 10 years, maybe more, before you even get close to hanging up the uniform. Right now, you're probably not thinking too hard about what comes after. And that makes sense. Transition right now can feel distant. But like I always say, it can arrive faster than you're ready for. The key here is balance. Stay locked in on the career in front of you, but start putting down small markers for the road that leads beyond it. Not just career prep, but a life philosophy. A framework that shapes how you live, how you lead, and how you grow, especially out of the uniform. You don't need to be updating your resume every day. You just need to chase every qualification and every certification you could get. Stack them to the roof right now. But what matters right now is a philosophy, the framework, the compass. Think about the coworkers and leaders who've left the strongest impression on you. It probably wasn't just because they knew the job. It was more likely how they carried themselves in a way that guided everything they did. That's what you remember. That's what translates everywhere. So you need to determine what's your philosophy. Maybe it's service before self. It's always leave it better than I found it. Maybe it's adapt and overcome. Whatever it is, start building it now. That philosophy will carry you through promotions, setbacks, successes, failures, and eventually your transition. One of the strongest ways to live that philosophy is through repetition. Building your you is like compound interest. The earlier you invest, the bigger the payoff. Every time you step outside your lane to contribute, you're building credibility. Pay attention to how people experience you. Are you the calm one in the storm? The one with the latest info on policy or new equipment? The one who invests in others? That reputation, it pays twice. It sets you up for transition later, but it also builds trust and opportunities right now. Remember, even before transition, reputation is currency. Inside your organization is what gets you tapped for assignments and leadership. That's assuming that you have a good reputation. Equally, don't ignore what's shaping your world from the outside. You can't just keep your head down for your career. You've got to track what's happening inside your organization as well as outside your organization. Read everything, especially if it applies to your career. Pay attention to the new laws and new legislation. When When you're the person in the room who can explain how a new policy could shift operations, you're not just keeping up, you're leading. You're anticipating change instead of reacting to it. That makes you valuable today, and it sharpens you for tomorrow. What is the grind? It's not just a routine, but the decision we make to wake up, give everything we've got, then find a way to go further. Grind, spelt GRND, is more than a brand. It's a movement, an emotion we all feel connected to as we work daily to pursue our goals and support each other. Founded by a former Army Ranger, Grind Activewear has a clear mission: to give 100% and then some more. In sport, fitness, and in life. Functional, high-quality performance wear that's rooted in American culture. Because you demand gear that outworks the rest. Whether you're on the field, in the gym, or building your own lane, Grind is for those who refuse to settle. Go check out the Grind Collective, that's thegrndcollective.com, and tap into something bigger than clothing. And while you're there, use the promo code TRANSITION15 to get 15% off your purchase. Here's another trap that many of us fall into: letting the career consume everything. Yes, you're newer to these careers, and it's easy to let the job become your whole identity. Focusing on promotions, assignments, the next opportunity. That can eat up every piece of who you are, to where you don't recognize yourself without the uniform. Don't let that happen. Your career should be part of your philosophy, but not the whole thing. Invest in your relationships, build hobbies, stay fit, both with your physical and with your mental. Get your financial house in order. Those things make sure that when the uniform comes off, you're not free-floating, you're steady. It's protection for your career as well as your future. And I know, maybe you're asking, why worry about all this right now? Because all of this benefits you right now. Building your reputation makes you promotable. Staying informed makes you the go-to person. And balance keeps you from burning out. Preparing for tomorrow doesn't take away from today. It makes today stronger. That's the dual payoff of designing your philosophy now. You thrive in your current role, and you lay the foundation for whatever comes next. If anything, though, don't fall into complacency. Later always shows up sooner than you think. Fear of change, not wanting to picture life outside the uniform, won't stop it from coming. On the other hand, overinvestment, pouring so much into this career that's nothing left of you when it's gone, that's not healthy either. Recognize the traps now. Step around them. Don't let them own you. So to close out this section, this is your time to design more than just a career. This is your time to design a philosophy, a set of values and habits that will carry you anywhere, through the career, through transition, through life beyond it. Build your reputation. Stay informed. Keep your balance. Let the job be what you do, not who you are. And you won't just prepare for transition. You'll build a life that has strength, resilience, and purpose at its core. Okay, let's bring this whole episode home. The road ahead doesn't always announce itself. Some days it feels like you're moving smoothly. Other days, that little voice sneaks in. Hey, what's next? And when does it arrive? Sooner or later, the uniform comes off. And when that moment shows up, the question won't be whether you stumbled onto some grand calling. It'll be whether you used the time you had to live deliberately, to prepare with intention. Because the life that carries you forward isn't built by waiting for clarity just to appear. It's built on the choices you make every day. The ones that align with who you want to be. The ones that keep you steady when change does come. And that's the difference between chasing something vague and living with intention. It's the difference between choosing to be purposeful over purpose. If you've stayed until this point, thank you. Staying till the end helps the engagement ratings. I'd really appreciate any comments you might have. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What's missing for you? Reach out to me on social media. Send me an email. The links are all in the show notes. Something else? Please share the podcast with anyone you think could benefit from it and enjoy it. And last, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.